can't mimic voices for love or money. I'm completely hopeless.
She hasn't, no. She's more of a soft influencing, modest.
And false claims about the royal family, which played on her fears and fueled paranoia.
Watch as Prince William freezes the room at Windsor Castle with 7 devastating words to Queen Camilla.
The debate concentrating on what we need to give up, what we can't do, which is very negative.
I don't recall Tom's name being on the list. This wasn't just about a guest list, it was a calculated public rejection. The charity event turned battleground revealed the power struggle that's been brewing since Charles's coronation. Royal insiders confirm William's refusal to allow Camilla's son at official events is part of a wider strategy to limit her family's influence within the monarchy. But was this protection of tradition or a deliberate humiliation? Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favour. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now back to the video. Behind the polished smiles and rehearsed pleasantries of the Windsor charity event, a royal power struggle was unfolding that would leave the Queen Consort visibly shaken. What began as Camilla's seemingly innocent request to include her son Tom Parker Bowles on the guest list quickly escalated into a public demonstration of Prince William's growing authority within the monarchy. The future king didn't just quietly reject Camilla's proposal, he made his position unmistakably clear in front of other senior royal staff. William was absolutely firm in his response, reveals a palace insider who witnessed the exchange. He didn't raise his voice, but the temperature in the room dropped several degrees. Everyone present understood exactly what was happening. This wasn't simply about a guest list. The charity function, meant to showcase royal unity, instead became the battlefield where William drew a firm line between working royals and extended family members. Camilla, who has gradually attempted to integrate her children into the royal fold since marrying Charles, suddenly found herself publicly rebuffed by her stepson. Royal observers note this confrontation wasn't an isolated incident, but part of William's calculated strategy to define the monarchy's future on his terms. The prince has been increasingly vocal about maintaining clear boundaries, explains a former royal correspondent. He believes the institution's survival depends on a streamlined approach, focusing exclusively on working royals. What made this particular showdown so significant was Camilla's reaction. Despite decades of media training and careful image cultivation, her composure momentarily cracked. Her hands were shaking slightly as she reached for her water glass, reports an attendee who asked not to be named. She maintained her smile, but her eyes betrayed her. You could see she was fighting back tears. The timing couldn't have been more significant, coming just months after William and Catherine allegedly broke protocol during the coronation by not bowing to Queen Camilla. A subtle but powerful statement that royal watchers immediately noticed and interpreted as resistance to her elevated status. As Camilla retreated from the confrontation, those closest to the royal family understood this wasn't merely about one charity event or one guest list. It represented William's calculated rejection of what he perceives as Camilla's attempts to elevate her family's standing within the monarchy. The public may have seen nothing but the usual royal smiles, but behind those perfect facades, battle lines were being drawn. Those battle lines reveal a far more consequential conflict than a mere family disagreement. They expose a fundamental struggle over what the monarchy should be. William's rigid adherence to royal protocol isn't simply about maintaining tradition. It represents his vision for a streamlined institution focused exclusively on working royals. This calculated approach aims to preserve what he sees as essential for the monarchy's integrity and stability in modern Britain. The Prince of Wales has positioned himself as the guardian of royal traditions, drawing clear boundaries between official royal duties and family affairs. But beneath this principled stance lies a deeper strategic conflict. Two competing visions for the monarchy's future have emerged. King Charles's more inclusive, family-oriented approach directly challenging William's strict interpretation of royal responsibilities. This isn't merely about guest lists, it's about defining the very nature of the British monarchy for generations to come. King Charles now faces an impossible choice that no monarch should have to make. Sources close to the palace reveal he's desperately attempting to mediate these growing tensions, urging both sides to find common ground while publicly maintaining a united front. A balancing act becoming increasingly difficult to sustain. As a father, he naturally supports his wife's desire for family inclusion, but as king, he must respect his son's vision as heir to the throne. This dilemma threatens to fracture the monarchy from within in ways that could prove irreparable. For Camilla, the implications are particularly devastating. After decades of carefully rebuilding her public image and finally achieving her position as queen consort, this public rejection forces her to confront the reality that her influence remains fundamentally limited despite her title. The exclusion of her son isn't just about one event, it indicates a pattern of deep-rooted tensions that have been simmering long before Charles's coronation. Palace insiders worry that William's unyielding approach, while intended to strengthen the monarchy, may actually be creating dangerous divisions. His leadership style has garnered mixed reviews. Some praise his commitment to tradition as necessary for preserving the institution, while others fear his rigidity could alienate family members and ultimately weaken the monarchy's foundation. The question isn't whether William has the authority to make these decisions, but whether his vision is sustainable in an era where royal families across Europe are adopting more modern, inclusive approaches. This conflict exposes the fundamental tension at the heart of the modern monarchy. Can an institution built on tradition and hierarchy adapt to contemporary family dynamics without losing its identity? William appears determined to control this evolution, but at what cost to family relationships and public perception? The fallout from William and Camilla's confrontation has rippled through British society, dividing public opinion in unexpected ways. While some royal watchers applaud William's strict adherence to tradition, others have criticised what they perceive as a humiliating power play against his stepmother. These mixed reactions highlight the monarchy's precarious position in modern Britain, caught between tradition and evolution. Historical precedent doesn't bode well for the royal family. Similar power struggles throughout the centuries have rarely ended amicably, often weakening the monarchy's stability during critical transitions of power. What makes this conflict particularly dangerous is its public nature. Despite the palace's efforts to project unity, the cracks in the royal facade have become increasingly visible to an already sceptical public. The true challenge ahead lies not in managing public ceremonies or charity events, but in navigating these private family dynamics that increasingly spill into public view. For all his commitment to tradition, William may soon discover that royal power in the 21st century requires more than asserting boundaries. It demands the ability to unite a fractured family before those fractures undermine the very institution he seeks to protect.